just been falling for so long. But the more you try to work it out, it seems you're going around in circles. But your best is yet to come. Activating success. Activating success. Activating success.
Welcome to a new and inspiring episode of Activating Success. Today is a new day. Get excited about your life. No matter what you're going through right now, it doesn't matter what you're going through right now. What matters is how you react to it and how you handle it. Don't go away. Stay right there. We'll be right back. Thank you.
And now, Activating Success with Love Idoko.
Welcome back. Today we're honored to have someone who has an inspiring story. He has been an inspiration to countless people all over the world. Even though he's visually impaired, he has maximized his potentials. Today we're honored to have Mr. COBHAMS Asukwo. He's a songwriter, a producer, and a musician. Welcome to Activating Success.
Thank you so much, love.
Thank you, sir.
How are you?
Thank you very much.
I should get up and shake your hand. You're a lady.
We're so honored to have you.
It is great to be here. Thank you.
Okay, you're an inspiration to so many people. You have shown great ability in spite of whatever challenges you have faced in life. What inspires you?
What inspires me? I think I'm inspired by a number of things. I'm inspired by the realization that it is possible. So I'm a dreamer. And a lot of things that have happened in my life have happened because I have dared to dream about them. And when you dream and you see things happen, what happens is it spurs you on and it gives you the nerve. You know, it gives you the temerity to want to dream and see more things happen. And I think that's my story, that I've had little dreams that, you know, have been removed from my reality. And obviously with work and grace and a lot of things, I've seen a lot of those dreams come to pass. So that just continues to push me and inspire me. I think the ultimate source of inspiration obviously is God. And so when you find God, you become generally inspired to do a lot of things. But I have to say this about inspiration though. There was a time in my life when I was inspired by fear. And I was inspired by the fear of not being who I had dreamt I would be. And I think that pushed me. But what I quickly found out was, you know, the danger with being inspired by fear is that, you know, you get to a point where, you know, you find success, but because, you know, you find it based on fear, it doesn't stop driving you until it drives you over the edge. And, you know, you kind of, you get back down to where you started from, or even worse. And so I had to get to a point where my fear had to morph into faith. Because, you know, fear in and by itself can drive you, but then, you know, it sort of self-destroys you in a sense. And so I had to find that out, you know, as I progressed, that I could not continue to be motivated by fear. I had to be motivated by something greater than fear. And for me, I found that to be faith. So I've been inspired by a lot of things. Yeah, like I said, God being the ultimate source of inspiration. But, you know, at some point it was fear, and then it morphed, you know, into faith. But I think the denominator is just my dreams and seeing the little things come to life and learning from that it is possible. So fear, faith, God, and possibility.
Wow. In case you're watching us right now, it is possible. Stop being afraid of your future. Have faith in God. Trust God. Man will always fail you because man is man and God is God. So trust God, and I believe you can change your story. Okay, sir.
You make
Tell
a
us.
good preacher.
Okay, tell us a little about yourself. Who is the real COBHAMS?
I like to think that I'm the average guy next door. So who am I? I'm, the last of 5 surviving children. I don't know if I can refer to what I have as an impressive academic background. I was pretty much an A student in school. I totally enjoyed it. But in my university days, I figured I didn't want to be running around in a wig and gown doing litigations and all of that. So I quit law in my 3rd year and decided to pursue music full time. A decision I till this day do not regret. I won't encourage it for everybody, but it's worked out. And I think that that's something that happens when you realize without the shadow of a doubt your purpose. I think when that happens, it's never too late to sort of retrace your steps and follow what your real path is. And for me, that's pretty much what happened. And I've come to learn that as life is a cycle, and I think that's pretty much what happened for the likes of Steve Jobs and Bill Gates, who somewhere in the middle of their education realized, what, I'm cut out for a lot more, and the sooner I get to my purpose in life, the better. So I think for me, that's pretty much what happened. Outside of that, I'm an average guy. I like music. I like my family. I like coffee. I like more music. I like fine dining. I like what else do I like? I like machines. I like cars and boats and things like that. I'm me. I think I'm I like books. Oh my goodness, I love books.
Oh wow.
Yes, I love books. I like to think of myself as a reader every time, because of the nature of what I do, I travel a lot, and I always try to buy a book before I get on the plane, because it's great company. So I'm an average guy. I like to make music. I like to write music. I like to sing music. I like healthy conversations. So that's who I am.
Wow, interesting. Okay, as an award-winning producer and a musician and a songwriter, tell us, which of your songs is your favorite song?
I get asked this question, and I don't know. It's hard to. I don't think I have a favorite song. So, for me, creating a song is such an experience. It's such a humbling experience. Where it moves from just being a thought, and a thought that is not even well formed, into, and eventually becomes melody, and you put lyrics to it. Then it becomes a song in your head, and only you know about it until you decide to share it with the world, and then people accept it. It's such a process that you don't make light of. So it's very difficult to say one song is your favorite song, because when you think about it, every song that was genuinely created went through that process. Yeah. So I respect the work that that passed through my hands. And as a songwriter, if you're going to be honest with yourself, I heard T.Y. Bailey say this once, and I just thought, it's really profound. That we don't really write these songs. We pull them out from the clouds. We pull them out from another realm. You know what I mean? From a different place. You know what I mean? And when that's what happens, it's such an amazing factory, where these inspirations or ideas come from, that you don't want to rubbish them by saying, one is a favorite over, another. So I'm proud to have been associated with a number of songs, and it's very difficult for me to say this is my favorite. I love them all because of the process of creating them. It's like giving birth. If you've ever had labor pains and you've had children, it'd be difficult to, That's why fathers have favorites more than mothers, because mothers deal with the pain of birth. So, even the black sheep can be the mother's favorite, because she knows what she went through to have, such a child.
True. Oh wow, amazing. Okay, what is your most urgent and pressing message to young people all over the world today?
So I don't know if it's something I can say in one breath or in one sentence. I think for me, when I think of young people all over the world, I think of a number of things. So my most pressing message would go thus. It is important that we live for more than just ourselves. We are in a time in life where living for ourselves is glorified, and it's such a challenge, because this individualistic approach to life just makes us not want to find the purpose that is behind the big picture. You know what I mean? I'm a big picture person, so I'd say, for one, love is the answer to a lot of our problems. Love is easily the panacea to a lot of the issues that we deal with, whether it's self-worth or self-esteem, whatever it is. I think if we loved a little more, we would treat each other better. So I'd say 1 is love, 2 is go. Get up and go. Now is the time to go. For whatever reason, we think about it, but as young people, we don't find, I don't think the world has known a bigger generation of procrastinators. It's important that we get up and do. It's the difference is in doing. There's a lot to think about, and we can think for days, but the difference is actually in doing. And sometimes it may not necessarily be perfect. And there's this message of perfection that's been sold to us that has eliminated failure, or the importance of failing to learn. Failing so that you learn. So I think getting up and doing and failing forward and doing and learning, that process. So I'd say 1, love, 2, do, 3, believe, 4, pray. It's one subject that we can argue forever, but our arguing it does not, or arguing about it does not change the empirical truth, and that is there is a force higher than us that runs the affairs of this world that we live in. So pray. Yes, I'd say love, do, believe, pray, and do some more. Yeah.
Wow, that is so powerful. In case you're watching us right now, love people. Life is a seed. I believe that whatsoever you do is a seed in life. So love people, believe it is possible, get up and do something positive with your life, and always pray it is possible to be celebrated.
If you allow me, I add one more thing, and I think that would be learn.
Yes.
There's always, there's like knowledge is the key. It just sort of opens up, many doors, and it helps you avoid certain pitfalls so that you don't, so always learn, take the time out, lose sleep to learn. And speaking about sleep, go to sleep. I think if you're going to use your body, then you need to let it repair itself. So sleep.
Wow.
So love, believe, do, pray, learn, sleep.
Oh wow, that is so powerful. Learn and sleep. The great Archbishop Benson Idahosa said that you cannot use a 19th century weapon to fight a 20th century battle. That it yesterday does not give you automatic victory today. So you must update your mentality and update your knowledge. Don't go away, stay right there. We'll be right back. Thank you.
Here's your order.
I think this is not exactly what we ordered. I ordered a Coca-Cola Zero.
No problem. I can give you 0 calories, 0 sugar, and a great Coca-Cola taste. Here's the Coca-Cola Zero you ordered.
Do it again.
You still look like you need a Coca-Cola. Why don't you sneak inside your bag?
Wherever you feel, together be real, together
Enjoy.
Hello, friend. I'm Mike Murdoch. Keep watching Activating Success with my wonderful, wonderful friend, Love Idoko.
This is Bishop Noel Jones, and I want you to continue watching Activate Success with Love Idoko.
Welcome back. In case you just tuned in, this is Activating Success with Love Idoko, and today we're so honored to have COBHAMS Asuko. Welcome back.
Thank you. It's great to be here.
Okay, sir. Tell us, what was your most challenging moment in life, and how were you able to overcome it?
Well, I think one of the most challenging moments that would come to mind right now for me was when I quit school and decided I was going to pursue music full time. So I mean, like I said earlier on, I'd pretty much been that kind of kid who, I was going to be a lawyer. I did well, had great grades, and all of that just happened, so fast forward how many years into my academic life. I had my scholarship to a school in a little town called Macon in Georgia I was going to go to, reviewed, because of being a blind person from Nigeria and all of that. And that hit me. I mean, it was easily one of the first times I wasn't getting something I wanted. And, progressing from there into, getting into Unilag as a law student and all of that, and just kind of finding, my path in my third year. It was confusing, just the mixed feelings of what would people say, why are you quitting school? Half the time when people quit school because they're not great with academics. In your case, you've always done well. So why are you doing this? What are your family expectations? All of these interesting things. What does the future hold for someone who's you're actually not gonna get a degree and you're gonna go into music and all of that that business. But I had to make a decision. I had to follow my heart, and I had to follow what then and still now was and is my purpose. And for me, that was so challenging. It was really, really challenging. Just daring to dream that I would make something out of my life. At the magnitude I had hoped that I would be able to accomplish. But without the tools I had been promised. Or I had, been taught, would be the only way to sort of get to where I wanted to get to in life. So it was a dilemma, and I had to work through that. So that was challenging.
Oh, wow. If you have an opportunity to live your life all over again, is there something you would want to do differently?
That's another question I get asked often, and, I have thought about it. What would I do differently? That's tough. If I had an opportunity to live my life all over again, I think I would pay more attention to the business and the administrative side of the things that I do more than I have done. So I'm a helpless, hopeless creative. And usually what happens with creative people is we tend to approach everything from a creative standpoint. And the danger with that is we live in a world that's very transactional. And when you don't have that skill, or when you don't operate with that skill in mind, sometimes you get the short end of the stick. Now, I've been fortunate for whatever reason not to have found myself in that desperate, difficult position. But I believe that for the sake of the other, because you also need to recognize that in life sometimes you're tied to people, and for the sake of the other people that I'm tied to, just having a grasp of the administrative and the business side of things earlier on would help you move not just yourself but the other people who are tied to you forward a lot quicker. Especially in a space such as ours. So I think maybe that's the one thing I would like to just sort of get a better hang of. Otherwise, most of the things I've done, how I've lived I think I've had a pretty good life. I would love to keep a lot of things as they are. The failures, the process, everything, has pretty much helped to build the person that I am today. And it's interesting that our environment does not encourage you so much to talk about. We celebrate success so much to the exclusion of failure as part of the journey. And I think that failure is a very, very important part of the journey, as long as it's not the destination. And I experienced failure early in life. I mean, you're born in the 80s as a blind person. You sort of have the odds stacked against you, like I like to tell people. And what that means is, in a system such as ours, you're set up in many ways to fail. And what's even more dangerous is your failure is excused on the grounds of your being a blind person. And so just having to break away from that and just sort of distort the status quo in that regard for me is learning to rise above failure. So failure is not something that's new to me because of that. And what happens, when you confront it is you're able to take on it head on and breathe and understand that it's part of your journey and not necessarily your destination, and still make something out of your life and still drive your still define your destination as success. So yeah, I think that's pretty much what it is for me.
Wow, this is so inspiring. We must learn to rise above failure. I'm getting so inspired here, sir. Okay, you recently released your album. Tell us about it.
Okay, so my album is a 14-track album. It's titled For You. I worked on it for about 5 years, and I only recently put it out in March. It's a very interesting album that I think has shocked a lot of people because the general tone of the album is Christian, and a lot of people wonder why. You're seeing that I've worked with a lot of artists, but for me, that was how the album came to me, and I was not going to dilute or change the face of it just for the commercial value or for whatever reason. It's a complete art form in itself, and I wanted it to be expressed in that completeness. You know, I can't guarantee anybody that my next album won't be a love album or whatever, but for me, you know, I express music as it comes to me. You know, I'm very honest about, you know, my music and my musical sensibilities. And, you know, I don't create music just because, I don't make a record just because I want to make money. And money is great. And, you know, I know what it feels to, you know, make a bit of it every now and again. But it's great to make music because, you know, like I said, it's a sound that has been pulled out from somewhere. And it's a message that must be expressed in its purest form, no Chinese whispers. So that's pretty much why my album is the way it is. You know, it's very exciting for me to make it. You traveled around the world, met with a lot of great musicians and recorded and stuff. So it's a great project. I think it's worth your listening.
Yeah, amazing. If you're watching us right now, so go out there and look for the new album For You by COBHAMS. Am I correct?
Yes, yes.
Okay,
Absolutely are.
finally, somebody is watching you right now who is confused about life, who is frustrated, who is depressed, who may be physically challenged and needs a push to get to the next level. What word of encouragement do you have for such a person?
The first thing I'd want to say is, look, it's okay to be confused. I am confused many times, even to this day. You know, but what I realized, one of the first things I realized is it is a season and it is a passing through. And it can only be a season and a passing through for you if you have that knowledge and you're able to work your way out of it. And for me, that is what I do most times. Now, I have the experience of having been there a number of times. So I've sort of learned the ropes and I've learned how to come through it. I promise you this, you know, whether it's Dangote, whether it's Warren Buffett, whether it's the President of the United States or the President of Nigeria, we all get confused at some point in time. So it's not a feeling or a position that is akin to you only. What makes people stand out is they decide to do something about it. You know, I'll say whatever it is you see, you know, in me that you admire, you think is great, you have the potential to possibly do 10 times better. And that's because you have my story, you know, in addition. I didn't have as many stories, or even if I had stories, I didn't have mine because my story was still being written, or is still being written. You have my story in addition to whatever other stories you have to just sort of spur you on to success. So the honest truth is, if I can do it, you know, it's testament to the fact that you can do it 10 times even better. And if it's not being done in your life, you know what I mean? It's you can't blame me for it. You can't blame anyone for it. You know what I mean? You shouldn't even blame anyone for it. You should just get up and do it. And I think that, you know, now is the time to do it. The power of now. Now is the time to do it. So don't wait another moment. You know what I mean? Get up and do something. Find a talent, a means of expression. Just do something. Yeah.
Wow, that was so powerful. Get up and do something now. Now is the time. It is possible to change your story. Get excited about your life. Get up and do something positive with your life. The time is now. Thank you so much for being here today.
You're welcome, love.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Had a good time.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
We're so honored to have you.
This is Inspire Us, powered by FCMB.
Fear. Fear is one of the strongest negative forces around, and that's a force that keeps people stagnant or retrogressive. For me, I think the minute you start to conquer fear is the minute you start to embrace progress and success. The best way to activate your success is to deactivate fear. It can be fear of anything, emotional fear, physical fear, fear of failure, fear of even getting love, fear of anything. And the more you fear a certain thing, the more it manifests in your life. So do not be afraid of success. Do not be afraid to take risks. Do not expect the worst outcome of any situation you find yourself in. Always strive for the best. Always think positive, and always surround yourself with people that will encourage you positively. The minute you start to be around people that always see the bad in everyone and in every situation, then you know you're on the wrong path. So for me, do whatever you can to take all the necessary steps to deactivate fear from every facet of your life. And with that, your success will definitely be activated.
This is Inspire Us, powered by FCMB.
Wow, that was so inspiring. I am speechless right now. Wherever you find yourself right now, whatever situation you find yourself, always remember that it is possible to maximize your potentials. Mr. COBHAMS Asokwo, even though he's visually impaired, he has succeeded in maximizing his potentials. He has made himself relevant. It is possible to change your story. It starts with a decision. It starts with a made-up mind. Get up now and do something positive with your life. Join us, same station, same time next week. Thank you.